Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I want to say these are my favourite ever Mario titles, but there's just been so many of these things now, it's getting a little more difficult to pick a favourite Mario. They're all really good, and yes, that does apply to Sunshine. With the recent re-release of both Galaxies, I thought it might be a fun excuse to talk about them again. I've been playing my original Wii editions here. It is nice that both games are now more readily available. I won't be buying the remaster myself, not out of protest. Well, that price is a bit much. But I am perfectly content with my old Wii copies. And this is totally a me thing, it's just so strange seeing these games in ultra clean high definition. I actually kind of prefer the softer image quality of the Wii. It just adds to Mario Galaxy's more dreamlike atmosphere. There's still something I find very ethereal about these old visuals. It feels like these games were just made with the limitations of the hardware in mind. And here's a little feature that will surely be lost to time. The Toads will send you mail to the Wii message board. I mean, it's not much, but it is a cute little extra. I've hooked up the Wii to the main display using a Portholic Wii 2 HDMI adapter. I know these adapters tend to get a bad rap, but I think it looks okay. I could also just use some component cables, get it hooked up to the CRT, or use that LCD monitor television thing I constantly keep plugging on this channel, and I think it looks really nice on here actually. But for the sake of capturing footage, I have been using the Portholic adapter. I think it has slightly darkened the image and oversaturated the colours, but I think I'm mostly fine with this. Sorry, this isn't the best place for technical stuff. I'm very much a plug thing in, make thing go. So how much more cost effective is this setup? Like I mentioned, these are my OG copies of Galaxy 1 and 2, which I bought back at launch. I hoard everything, sorry wife, but currently you can buy both of the Wii versions for quite a cheap price. This isn't my original Wii console, but it was something I bought last year. It wasn't very expensive either, and complete in box. Best of all, it even came with a few extra games. Everyone loves Wii games. The component cables might vary on price, depending on the brand. Somehow I still got the official Nintendo Wii component cables, but I wouldn't pay loads for these. Let's also add the adapter to the equation, still very cheap and I highly recommend. There's also that rubbish LCD television, which are still currently very easy to find. I want to try out some other brands. I do find that the Wii looks especially good on a decent LCD television, so yeah, not a huge price difference overall. You can also play both Galaxies on the Wii U. The console seems a little bit more expensive than a Wii from what I can find. Alternatively, you could save money by well, you know. The Wii itself is such an odd little thing, isn't it? I was working within the industry at the time, which did give you a new insight as to what was going on behind the scenes. I still remember the day a Wii unit turned up at our offices one day, all of us being amazed at just how the Wii cursor naturally reacted to your movements and gently vibrated whenever you scrolled across the system's menu channels. It's the simple things in life, isn't it? So the Galaxy titles do bring back a few bittersweet memories for me. It's very nostalgic. Let's have a look at the original packaging. The original Mario Galaxy box art feels pretty iconic now, and Yoshi is fully front and center for the sequel. When I bought Super Mario Galaxy 2 at launch, it came in this collectible money box tin, which holds a cardboard box, which holds the game. So it's a box within another box. Inside we get this beautiful fold-out manual showing you the various controls for Mario, and on the other side the Mario and Yoshi controls. There's a full colour manual, really nice artwork in here, and a DVD is included. I remember very naively thinking this was surely a prestigious behind-the-scenes making-of documentary, but turns out it's just merely a tutorial guide geared towards younger gamers.
You'll perform some moves in this game by pointing the Wii remote at your TV screen. When you do,
this is very emblematic of the Wii era.
cursor appears.
Pointless extras, I know, but man, do you remember when you just bought a video game and it came with stuff? And the disc art is just phenomenal. Really love the colour combination for the Galaxy 1 disc. Nintendo disc art has just sadly become a lost art form nowadays. Really is a shame, these are beautiful. The Mario Odyssey packaging is so lacking in that regard. Truly, we've regressed as a society. Both of the Galaxy titles are played exclusively with the Wiimote and Nunchuck. Annoying how there were never any controller options, but it's just very typical of Nintendo, isn't it? You play the game the way they want you to play. Never had too much of an issue with the motion controls myself. Having to shake the Wiimote to get a little bit of extra airtime feels strangely natural. I just can't imagine playing these games without a Wiimote in hand. Although I think I do still prefer the feel of Mario's movements more so in 64, and even Sunshine actually. I think I may well be the only person who actually really likes the Flood Pack. Galaxy has a more rubbery, floaty feel to the movements, which does make sense within the context of the setting, and it was pretty impressive having Mario jump from planetoid to planetoid. The Wii was heavily underpowered compared to its competition at the time, but it does help that both Galaxy titles have a really strong art direction. In 2007, I played Galaxy 1 alongside the original Uncharted Drake's Fortune for the PlayStation 3. And yet Galaxy did still manage to impress me with its visuals. And still the most cinematic presentation I've ever seen within a Mario title. It's amazing how Nintendo just almost immediately learnt from their mistakes within Sunshine, where the storytelling wasn't exactly that game's strongest feature. Galaxy had very little cutscenes outside a beginning and an end. The storytelling felt almost entirely within the game itself. Dynamic camera angles, sweeping vistas, the lighting and general tone, it's a very ethereal experience, and it really captured the weirdness of outer space. It can get very surreal. Mario Galaxy just somehow evokes a feeling of childlike wonder, even though my childhood Mario games were the NES titles and World on the Super Nintendo. They really are such special games. And I very much doubt it would have been the same experience without that rousing score, the first Mario title to use a symphony orchestra for its soundtrack. But despite the bombastic, loud orchestral sound, there is also a sense of loneliness and isolation. I still find this atmosphere so absorbing. Weirdly enough, the Galaxy titles always felt less about Mario himself and more about this unusual galaxy he's exploring. Super Mario 64 and Sunshine, most often or not, just have the camera centered entirely around Mario or just up close behind him. Yet within Galaxy, the camera is usually focused more so on this epic scenery. There is still the usual Bowser has kidnapped the princess, go save her, and of course our very modest hero has a spaceship moulded after his likeness, so it is still very much a Mario game, but the real main character of Galaxy as such is surely Rosalina, with her story being totally optional and there for you to engage with if you choose to do so. I'm sure the art direction and overall vibe drew a lot of inspiration from The Little Prince, a literature classic. And yes, you can certainly see some influence in the lonely feel of some of these planetoids you visit, and especially within Rosalina's backstory, but I think the gameplay just felt like a natural evolution of 3D Mario at that point. The space bonus levels within Sunshine, for example, to the worlds within Super Mario 64, just being these gigantic landmasses floating in midair. Somehow it just felt only natural Mario would follow up his tropical island vacation by going into outer space, before coming back down to Earth for a more grounded, stereotypical Mario adventure in 3D World. It's pretty amazing seeing how the series has changed and evolved over the years, sometimes stripping away features or ideas before eventually returning to them. Just make a Mario Sunshine follow-up, you cowards. Difficult to say which of the Galaxy titles I prefer. I love the story, the themes, the feels, just the general atmosphere within Mario Galaxy 1. It's still pretty magical and fills me with all kinds of warm, cozy nostalgia. Super Mario Galaxy 2, on the other hand, felt like it had the better gameplay. The platforming is a little bit more challenging, a little bit more refined, and generally the game is just a little bit more exciting to play. Yoshi is fully playable in the sequel, and a vast improvement from his implementation within Sunshine. On the downside, or perhaps the plus side depending on how you look at it, Galaxy 2 almost completely ditches the storytelling, which does relate to its initial development roots beginning as a DLC pack for Galaxy 1, simply titled More Mario Galaxy, which is a hilarious title. I only wish they would have stuck with that. I suppose after my various replays of Galaxy 1 over the years, you do start to realise that the story can tend to get in the way, whereas Galaxy 2 just immediately cuts to the chase. I still think Galaxy 2 is sometimes lacking a little bit of its own identity. I do remember slightly resenting it even at first for just feeling like a mere retread, a rehash of the original game. It certainly shows in that opening level. It is the typical sequel problem. Technically this is the better game, but it just lacks the freshness, the uniqueness of the original. Personally, I would say around the second or third world is where Galaxy 2 starts to really become its own thing. And by World 5, it really starts to ramp up in quality. Galaxy 2 becomes quite simply the game. Oh, and it also allows you to play as Luigi without having to get all 120 stars. That's nothing but a major plus if you ask me. I suppose out of both Galaxy's 120 collectible stars, there are a few I didn't like. But everyone will have stars they do and don't like. There's really no point in reviewing these games. What more can you say about them exactly? We already know they're good, but it is fun to talk about them again, and I hope you enjoyed just listening to a few thoughts. They're both pretty magical titles and amongst some of Nintendo's best, and regardless of which versions you have, they feel just as much fun as they were back at launch. If you made it this far into the video, thank you ever so much for watching. Take care.